Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Catching Up After College podcast. We're catching up after college on the lessons of life lived by leaders. We're a safe space grounded in grace, and our aim's always to aid. We may be postgraduates, but we're never post-learning. I'm Isaiah Brown, your host, and thank you for tuning in today. Today, we have my bearded brother, Yeshua Montañez, here with us. What's up, man?
Let's go. I'm ready.
Oh, day. Cool. Did I say that right? How do you say your last name?
You nearly got it. It's Montañez.
Montañez. Cool.
Yeah, man. Say it with your chest.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. All right, man. You are episode 2 of season 2. That's pretty cool, right?
I mean, it's better than episode 3. I can already tell you that. No, just check out.
Dang. Whoever that is, yeah.
Whoever that is.
Yeah, man. No worries. How's your day been? What's happening?
Not much, man. It's I'm living in Copenhagen, Denmark. Today has been like just super warm. About 24 degrees Celsius. 80 degrees.
What is that?
I don't know. I have no idea. I
talking about?
80 degrees.
Yeah.
There you go. I just got out of work and then just cycled home. Really excited for today.
Nice, man. So it was like 80 when you cycled home? Or like 60 by then? Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Got me sweating out here.
Cool, man. Well, I got to ask you a couple questions. So, you into comedy at all? You like comedians, that kind of stuff?
I love comedians. Hit me up.
Okay. I'll try. Cool, man. All right. So, I'm going to ask you to give me your top 3 comedians of all time. But here's the tricky part. After naming the comedian, you're also going to name the rapper equivalent of who that comedian is and why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you want to go top 3 or top 5? I was thinking.
Let's start off top 3 and then we'll go top 5.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Yeah, you go for it then.
All right, man. Top number 1. I gotta give it to my man Jerry Seinfeld. Like, I think nothing describes my childhood as like coming home, doing my homework, and then like, because I grew up in Chicago, so it's like we had this station called Hey You, and literally they would play like Seinfeld like at 5 in the afternoon, and that's exactly before my dinner and after my homework. So I would watch Seinfeld every single day. The man is a genius, comedical timing like nobody else. I think it, like, I have to give it to him. I feel like the one rapper that I feel like really encapsulates him, it would have to be Tupac. I mean, that's bold, but hear me out. Tupac, I feel, was the voice of the generation in the 90s for a lot of people. And I was discussing this with my wife, saying like how his lyrics, I mean, were so profound. It was insane how the timing and just like the poetic value of it is the best. And I think that translates to Jerry Seinfeld's comedy. It's timeless. It's classical. I watch Seinfeld now and it's 30 years on and I'm just like, wow, it's still so funny. It still gets me. Same with Tupac. I listen to his music even on the regular and I'm always like, man, Brenda got a baby. Oh my God. It still hits,
Yeah, still relevant.
Number 2, man, would have to be Dave Chappelle.
Yes.
I think, you cannot talk about someone who has like cultural relevance, even when he went into like his obscurity, like in terms of he wasn't doing anything, but I was still quoting Dave Chappelle when he was in like self-isolation out in Idaho or wherever he has a farm. Like his relevance is just crazy. And then when he came back with all the different Netflix specials, I was rolling on the ground because obviously it's a lot of political stuff, but then I was like, man, why? Like you bring the medicine real quick. I think his equivalent of a rapper. Oh my God, there's this rapper. His name is Saba, and he's from Chicago.
Okay.
And I think I feel in terms of stage presence and the way that they carry themselves, be it online or even just in their demeanor, are very similar. They're both absolutely intelligent men who know what they're talking about, but use their medium to communicate in ways that, you know, that is foreign to a lot of people, but then they make it so relevant.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay. Nice.
I think the last one, simply because I just watched his special again, it's Michael Che.
Oh,
SNL.
He's a good one.
Yeah, man. SNL writer did his Netflix special, and I just like the part that he mentioned about Christianity just got me. Like I was just like, I'm not gonna butcher his jokes, but watch Michael Che's Netflix special, Che Matters. It's so good. I think his equivalent. I mean, for me, because I just feel like I'm gonna keep it Chicago. I'm gonna keep it Chance the Rapper. Like,
oh, nice.
Like there's just, you know, there's just an essence of like, man, this guy's cool, but not in like, oh, you're so cool, man, but more of like, nah, like traditional cool. Like you walk into a room and you're like, all eyes on them.
Nice.
I feel like the same way, like just the way that they deliver messages that can be biting, but yet said in the poetic ways, goes hand in hand.
Yeah. Okay. How about I give you a comedian, you tell me their rapper equivalent?
All right, cool.
Kevin Hart.
Soulja Boy.
Oh, okay. What? Wow. Oh, poor Kevin Hart, man.
I know. I gotta do it. So, hey, man. Soulja Boy was out in the streets. He sold 50 million ringtones, man.
I don't know if I should give you any more after that. But.
Hey, man, don't disrespect Big Soulja. Draco. Look, he was.
Wow. Okay.
They both make me laugh, man. Anytime I see an interview with either of them, I'm like, you know, I'm clicking. I see that thumbnail. They got me. I'm baited. I got it.
Nice. Okay. Maybe we'll leave that there. That was good. Yeah. But yeah, awesome, man. That was great explanations for all those comedians. But let's see. So you're living in Copenhagen, you said.
Yeah, man.
So where are you originally from, and can you describe what your life was like at an earlier age?
Yeah, man. So I was born and raised. Well, I was born in Florida, but raised in Chicago. So essentially, my family is Mexican, but before that, we're Native Americans. Like just gonna lay that out there from the get go. And in Florida, it was nice. It was a very I had great memories in Florida. Really enjoyed my time. I was there till about I was 8 years old. But every summer I'd go to Chicago because that's where all my aunts are, and that's where everybody, all my family that left Mexico, they went straight to Chicago. And my mom and my dad went to Florida. I think like my formative years, I lost my dad at a real early age. I was 8 years old. He died of lung cancer, and I think it was sort of I would say the death of my childhood, along with the death of my father, because it's when it just signified like that things had to change. One, my mom had to make ends meet. Losing a main breadwinner, like with 4 kids, was just the options were very limited. It's either work hard, get a second job, which she did, to then we had to move to Chicago in order for my aunts and family to like take care of us and help us with all these other things. So I think, formative years, like I feel like I had a childhood because obviously I had so much stuff, and I was always, my mom never showed that we were poor. It was like, nah, everybody has, one pair of shoes. Like, yeah. You don't have to think about that. But it was good. Like, I'm never one to be like, oh, I had a crappy childhood, because at the end of the day, I remember it as, yeah, we were ghetto and we were broke, but we were ghetto fabulous. Like, life was good.
Yeah. Nice. So who did you want to be when you were little? When you grew up?
I wanted to be a scientist. Like straight up from a young age, I loved animals. I loved reading. I was like, my mom, like, I think kids would watch Cartoon Network and like Nickelodeon and stuff, and I would too. Like, don't get me wrong, but like, there'd be times where I'm like, oh, I just want to switch it over to the History Channel, to the Discovery Channel, to Animal Planet. And just, I loved learning. I loved being able to know how things work, why things are named certain things, which animals represent what, and all these other things. And so I feel that was my, like, I was like, I'm going to be a scientist. I determined that from a young age.
Yeah, nice. That's pretty cool,
So
man.
I know it didn't happen. No.
No.
Well, I mean,
you look smart though with the glasses, so you could tell people you're a scientist.
Yeah.
Right. So, growing up, did you picture yourself going to college?
I didn't even picture myself graduating high school. And you know, I mean, I'm allowed to speak for my family, but I was the first one to graduate from high school in my immediate family. But I'm the youngest of four, so that puts my life a little bit into perspective. And even now, like, it's still like it's still. I can't believe I did it. Like, I remember it being a really big thing and really like being so big for my mom, like, to have. Obviously, she cares and is proud of all of her kids, but just like to say, like, one of my kids finished high school. And I think that was the bar. That was my ceiling. My mom was like, man, if, like, you're the next president because you passed high school. It's the immigrant dream.
Nice.
But yeah, like, so, I mean, I think for me, I knew, because of what I liked and how I like to spend my time, I knew I was going to make it to high school, and I think once I got a little bit older, I was like, I'm for sure going to college, or at least seek adult education to some extent.
Yeah, nice. Did you know what you wanted to study at that time?
Yeah, marine biology. That's my go-to. I was like, anything. I took AP biology. I took like loads of like I did chemistry. I did AP environmental sciences. Like, I did all of the things that I needed to do to go into marine biology in high school.
Yeah. Cool, man. Now, you say you're a Mexican man, or Native American Mexican man?
Native American, man. Well, this is where, I mean, can I just put my little educator hat on?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, man, there's no such thing as like blood Mexican. Like, we are Native American, we are indigenous. Our ancestry has been on the Americas for thousands of years. The only thing that makes us Mexican is obviously now man-made borders and the culture that comes with with Spanish and the blending of indigenous culture. That's Mexican.
Yeah.
But in terms of like actual ethnicity or race or however you want to put it, we're all Native Americans.
Yeah. No, that's good.
But
it's a good history.
I'm specifically linked to the Tarahumara tribe, which is in the northern part of Mexico / like southern part of the U.S.
Nice. Okay. So at what point in your life did you realize race was going to be an issue that you face often? Does that come up a lot in your life?
That comes up so much.
Yeah.
Even now, here in Europe, it comes up on the regular. But I think my first experience is obviously after my dad died. My mom, she used to work in a hotel Monday through Friday. And then Saturday and some Sundays, she would go work out in the field for orange picking. And so Saturdays, my mom can't afford anybody to look after us. So Saturday, what she would do is she would take us to like the farms with her. Like, we can just play, or we helped her with whatever, and then they would pay her like, I don't know, $10 per child to help out with picking oranges.
Yeah.
And I remember like very clearly, like I was a child, and then saying, like, I just remember hearing, what's that Mexican kid doing over there? Like, get him the F out. And I was just like, and it's the moment where I realized, oh, I'm different.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like, I mean, that was like the inception of me realizing that, wait, my brown skin is not liked.
Mm-hmm.
It's seen as not good.
Yeah.
And I think that was like the initial thing that I kind of realized that race was going to be a part of my life, and whether I liked it or not, or whether if I was an innocent child or not.
Mm-hmm. You said at what age was that around?
That would have been like 9 that I can remember.
Yeah, that's pretty early, man.
Mm.
Have you had to face discrimination of any form? And if so, can you describe what happened?
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, when I moved to Chicago, I moved to the south side of Chicago. That's where all my family's from. Shout out Little Village.
Mm-hmm.
We're out here. But I just remember I remember one time I was in a part of the city, because what I would do is after school, I would jump on the train on like the Pink Line and go into the inner city, and I would go sit in parks and just read. Like, and I remember one time this white family was like in the park, and they called the cops on me.
Oh,
and they said, "Hey, there's someone strange." Now, I haven't grown since since sophomore year, so I've been my size since sophomore year. So like I just remember just sitting there and just like just reading the book and just walking, and someone called the cops, like a white family. So this park is pretty massive, and I remember just walking by, and then they called the cops, and the cops like a block away from the park as I was going back to the train. The cops pulled me over, and they're like, "Hey, can we speak to you?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Like, what's happening?" And then they're like, "Can you actually just get in the car?"
What?
Yeah, like it was. I mean, I would have been 16, like 15, 16. And I was like, "Well, like, what's happening?" And then they're like, "Oh, we just need your details and whatever." So I gave them all my details, and I told them like who I was, and then the officer. She was very nice. I do want to say that she was very nice to me. She was just like, there was a couple said that there was a suspicious male, brown, and that they think they might have that you might have stole something.
Oh my gosh!
And then she's like, and this, even though she was nice, what she said was pretty awful. She's like, "Lucky for you, there's nothing else that they've said that would incriminate you."
Wow.
And so I was like, wow, I'm lucky because I can't even like put the words like, oh, I'm lucky simply because they didn't really get a look at my features or my face.
Wow. That's ridiculous, man.
Like overt racism, overt, discrimination. But I think like what gets me is like, because I've been told straight to my face, like, you effing Mexican, get out of my country. Like, and this is by cars driving by. Like, it's like
dude, that's the most cowardly way to man, I hate that kind of stuff. Drive-by stuff. It's just, it pretty much shows that you're a coward,
Yeah.
But,
and it's just, it's stupid. Like it's infuriating because it's kind of like, I've literally done nothing. I've just been walking. And I think, but what gets me, and I think like, cause when you and I both did a period in Australia, but even here, it's microaggressions, man. It's the clenching of your purse. Like when I walk by, it's the crossing the street. It's sometimes I take the bus when it's raining. The bus is completely empty. And the second part of the bus, like the back bit, there's one person sitting like 3 rows down, and I sit towards all the way to the back. They get up and they move to the front of the bus. And I'm just kind of like, is my skin that much of a threat to you?
Yeah.
Like, I don't, but it's just, it's been present, like, or at every single stage of my life, it's been present.
Yeah. Dude, I'm going to go deep here, but do things change when you're with your wife, with Phoebe? because like I remember here in America, I dated this one girl, and she was a bit like light skinned, but she was like Mexican. We're just walking around arm in arm, and then out of nowhere, like white people actually came up to me and were asking questions, like nice questions, like, "Hey, do you know how to get from here to here?" And that stuff would never happen if I wasn't with her. Does that kind of stuff happen with you and Phoebe?
Oh, 100%. So just for context, my wife Phoebe, she's half Mexican, and her dad, like her mom's Mexican, her dad's from England, but she's very light skinned. She has like bluish green eyes. So it's just like, so she looks, if without a second glance, if you just looked at her, she looks white. But the thing is, there'd be times where here, like we'd be in grocery shops and they wouldn't think we're together. They would separate her items. There's been like, so they've been like, oh, no, like here, oh, and we've just have to been like, no, we're together. Like, this is us. There's been times where like, even this bus situation, like if it was her and I, and there was one other person in the bus, like they wouldn't move. But like 100% of the time they would move if it was just me and them. Yeah. On the bus. So it's kind of just, and even like her experience here, it's very different from mine. Wow. But like, yeah, it sucks, man. Yeah.
I have to get Phoebe on here sometime too.
Yeah. You know? Oh, hey. She's the real one. She's the real one in this relationship. So your listeners would appreciate her more than me.
Oh, okay. Your words. All right, cool. So going back to college, would you say that you had a diverse experience in like the sense that you're exposed to different cultures, people, and mindsets?
I will tell you this. I purposely went to college and chose not to hang around with Americans. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you and I, we had just a genuine connection, and there was friendship. Then we had classes together. But in terms of like my group of friends and people that I served with, like they were either Australian, Kiwi, Brazilian. Like I purposely was like, I want to not just be stuck in the American bubble. And it wasn't necessarily to do with like skin color or anything, but it was more of just like just culture. I just wanted to get myself out of my culture.
Yeah. What led you to do that?
Oh, because in my mind, I was like, if I'm going to Australia, I want to make Australian friends. I don't want to make American friends.
Okay. All right. Cool. No, it's honest. Yeah. But you still made some American friends, so
I still did, man.
Yeah, it's cool.
I mean, you know, when barbecues happen and when other things happen, you know, I gotta have some good food. You know,
it's for the food. No.
Yeah, no. You know, just use that. Like,
yeah. Oh man, that's funny. All right. So, can you recall a season of having to learn like new skills or adapt to your environment to survive?
Bro, yeah. I think I went to college. I was balling on a budget, man. My mom essentially, when I told my mom, "Hey, I want to go to Australia," like she was shaking, trembling, because she was just like, I don't know how I can afford this, but she knew that whatever she had, be it savings or be it borrowing from people, which she ended up doing, but it was just like, I'm going to get my son to go pursue his education and what he wants to do.
Yep.
So it's like, my mom was able to pay for like my flight, my passport, my visa, and my first semester of tuition.
Nice.
But when I got to Australia, but she's like, this is all I can do, mijo. Like, this is all we can like afford. And I was just like, hey, don't, like, I'm good. I'll do something. So then I left to go to Australia, and I had $200, and that's all I had to go to Australia. And for those of you who don't know, Australia is super expensive. The rent itself was like, I think my rent was like $800, $900 a month.
Yep.
I had 200. So it was either eat food or pay rent, and your boy got to stay fed.
Cool. All right.
So I think from the jump, I had to learn different skills. I was like, hey, I'm gonna do whatever I can. So it's like I got suspended from college because I couldn't pay rent, and I didn't go to college. And then I just went and found a job. I found a call center job. I like one, it's Australia. Like they're like, oh, you have an American accent. This is a scam. So I was like, I literally. This is also another thing. I had a meeting. It was like two other Americans that were working with me, and they pulled us aside, and they said, "Can you guys, we can't legally ask you, but can you maybe try putting on an Australian accent when you're on the phone?"
Wow. Okay.
And then because it's like you guys just aren't performing, and then we still got paid by the hour. So I was like, all right, cool, man. As long as you're cool with it, I guess I'll try. And so I ended up putting on an Australian accent in order to not be sent home, so that I could pay rent and pay food. And then I was just like, let's go, let's do it. I'll adapt. I'll say good day, mate, like nobody else.
Can we hear more of that accent?
I mean, look, hey, fun fact. I still say mate to this day simply because of the hours that I said, simply because of the hours on being a, what are those people called? Call center assistant person. Yeah, I mean, I'll give you my quick spiel. Because I used to work for the, I won't name them because I don't want them to get back to them.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, good day. This is Josh calling on behalf of so and so. Just calling because we're gonna have a raffle out, and just wondering if you like to support the boys and girls. We got 5 tickets for $10 or 20 tickets for $40. And that was it.
That was good, man.
Your boy got the ventriloquist. No, that's not a ventriloquist. That's
what?
It's a impersonator.
Yeah, there you go. That's cool.
Got a little dummy on here. No, and then I think from that, I used to work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 at this call center place, and I did this for 1 month, where after every shift I would go work at a cafe as a kitchen hand. So I should be washing dishes till 2 a.m, then get back up at 7, have a shower, and then go to my other job. And I did that for 4 weeks. So I literally just did nothing, and then I was able to pay for, 1, get out of the debt, and then 2, just have a sustainable income for everything coming up college-wise. So adapt.
Yeah. So that was all during the semester, or you took a break off, then went back?
No, that was during the semester. So I did a month of being suspended because I couldn't pay.
Yeah. Nice, man. I was going to ask, what's been the biggest roadblock or hurdle you've had to face during that college season? Is that what you would say it was, the finances?
It was the finances, but it was also the sticking to my guns, sticking to who I was and not succumbing to peer pressure. Funny story, when I first started college, this guy, God bless his soul, I don't know what he's doing now with his life, but he came straight up with a cowboy hat, 10-gallon hat, a Levi's shirt and a Levi's pants, and some rattlesnake skin boots. And he showed up to college, showed up to orientation straight up cowboy, off the ranch.
Yeah.
And and to myself, I was very much, I wonder how long he's gonna take before he realizes he's the only cowboy here.
Yep.
And I kid you not, within 3 days, he had gone out and he had bought a new closet of singlets and swimming shorts and a longboard.
Wow.
And I was like, I told myself, I'm not going to be like you. I'm going to stick to myself, and I'm going to be me in this in college and in my life. I don't want to succumb to peer pressure.
Yeah. Did you end up buying skinny jeans though?
The thing is, here's the thing. I was heavily into rock music. I'm heavily into metal and to emo music. in high school. Like that was my scene. So I've been wearing my mom's jeans. I've been wearing my sister's jeans since like 14.
Mm.
So skinny jeans, well, that was always me.
Yeah. Okay. Cool, man. So you want to explain what you do for work at the moment?
Yeah, man. I work in skincare, glow up.
Oh, dang.
I know, man. That's why my skin looks so good.
Mm.
So I work for this actual like incredible brand, and I'll say them because I love them. But it's called Aesop.
Mm-hmm.
It's an Australian brand actually. It's an Australian skincare brand that just their values and the ethics are just like next level, and just the culture in which it represents and that it portrays. It's the one that they have internally. So it's like I'm super proud of where I'm working.
Nice. And you said, what's your position there?
I just got a promotion. So
Oh, yeah.
I know, man, raising it up. I'm assistant store manager
Nice.
in one of our shops here.
Nice. Cool, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about skincare for a sec.
Let's
When
do
did
it,
you
man.
start caring for your skin personally?
Oh man, I think I started caring about it when I realized when I realized one time I was like, man, I literally don't wash my face. I was like, that's gross. I was like, water goes on, water goes on it, and it's just kind of like whatever. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, why I've never thought about it is because I'll let you into a little secret. I've always had great skin. It's just genetics, man. Just, hey, favor ain't fair. But then I realized like I love being able to just make my face feel good. And I was like, man, you know what? Skincare ain't that bad. And then I love the products that we have at work.
Yeah, that's cool, man. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Would you say you have to be a bit of a salesperson at work? Is that or is that not really your role anymore at the moment? You're more of a leader of the people who are doing the selling.
Yeah. No, I think there's still sales aspects to what I do. But at the end of the day, like our products are really well known in terms of to the people that know them. I know that sounds like dumb, but like it's kind of like if you know, you know, and if you don't know, then you try to figure it out. It's really weird marketing, I think, but like I think if you've seen any celebrity or anything like that, or anything that deals with architecture, you would know the brand because it's just that's what it's known for. But I think it's more of selling the space and selling the content because each ESOP shop is designed and curated by a different architect. So it's like, so they blend, so no one store looks exactly the same. So they try to blend the location. They try to put elements of the location, specifically the street, to match the store, and as well as the environment in which we want to just host people in.
That's pretty dope, dude. That's nice. It's a good idea. But what would you say is your dream job?
I think I've always had a passion to be a pastor, and I know I will be, like paid staff. But I think there's so much more in me in terms of a teacher, not necessarily for like children or for adults, but a teacher in terms of culture, a teacher in terms of like a role model, a mentor.
Yeah.
I think so, not just like, preaching on a Sunday, but it's like really, really helping people develop. So
yeah,
in that sphere.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. Let me pull up this phrase real quick. What do you think of when you hear this phrase, don't chase people, chase your dreams? Does that mean anything to you?
Don't chase people, chase your dreams.
It's from a rapper.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Can I know who? So at least I kind of know.
Yeah, his name is such a weird name. Aha Gazelle.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't chase people, chase dreams. I don't know, man. I think my dreams are people. So I can't chase my dreams if I can't chase people. And I can't chase people because I can't do one without the other because it's the same for me. It's like I want to go for that one lost sheep. If we can go real spiritual, I feel like that's my calling.
Yeah. Oh, dang. That was a great answer. You cool to touch on current events a bit? That's cool with you?
I mean, let's try. I don't own a TV. So we keep it to books and we keep it to the internet. So, I mean, try me.
Okay, cool. So, Hyssop, that's your company name, you said?
ESOP. AESOP.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Have you guys had a personal response as a company to recent events like with COVID and all that, but also with, the whole George Floyd thing, killing and protests for justice and all that? Have you guys had a response?
A massive response. There's this. I'll start with COVID because it doesn't. Yeah, let's start with COVID. I'm an immigrant in a country that I have no job security. Like I don't have I can't apply for unemployment. I can't do any state help whatsoever. So if I lose my job, there's a big chance that I would get deported from Denmark. So my biggest fear, and I was like, crap, they're closing the stores. Everything is being closed down. I'm going to lose my job. And on top of that, I'm going to lose my status here in this country. But from the very start, like my manager was like, don't worry. Like, nice. It's going to be good. Yeah. And then we, luckily, like the company is so transparent. Like they have weekly updates, like for our internal things, all the way from every week. You can hear directly from the CEO and all the tops, and they're discussing how as a company we're doing and what we're doing. So, like they set up, like we have an internal online website where you can get all information. But everything they said that we're going to action, that we're going to do, was all written down. And any questions whatsoever, like they encourage. Like our CEO encourages, email me like directly if you have any questions about anything. Wow. So it's transparency is like it's incredible. And so with COVID, like we went on this thing called furlough, which essentially is the company applying to get government help. So it's not an individual. And I was able to benefit from that. But they made sure the company made sure that I was still going to get 100% of my paycheck without working. Whoa. And so they did that. They did that for 2 months. Like 60 something days. So they paid for my full wage for 2 months while I was off. Nice. And they did that with everyone. Not one person was laid off that I know of.
That's awesome, man. How does the CEO handle that, getting a bunch of questions from all his employees? Must have a lot of time or something.
I mean, I don't know. No. Either nobody's emailing him, or it just gets filtered somehow. But in terms of Black Lives Matter, like we were, you know how I posted a post saying watch all the brands and how they react to this crisis. Are they just saying, Blackout Tuesday, and then that's it, and there's nothing else? It's but you can look it up on at ESOP on Instagram. They were they said they had 3 individual posts, and they just said it was a black square with just the names, and they would say, we're going to give 100,000 to Black Lives Matter. Wow. There was no games, there was no political statements. They were nah, 100,000. And even within that, there's an internal scheme where I can't share that. But anyway, they're doing a lot of stuff internally. They've made a PDF file.
Mm-hmm.
It's about, I would say, 80 different sources of books, podcasts, audios, visuals that describe Black Lives Matter, Black authors, Black businesses, what to do if you're white. Like they literally did every single thing to keep everyone educated.
Dang. Wow.
Next level, man.
Yeah, for real. It feels like what do you think about going beyond a statement? I feel like so many companies, it's so easy to just send out that one email, hey, we stand with this. And sometimes they're really vague about it, won't even say Black Lives
Oh,
Matter. It's like, what do you
yeah,
think about going beyond a statement, the importance of that?
bro, going beyond, like, I'll read you this because I actually have it on deck right here.
Yeah.
I read a Harvard Business Review text right here, and I'll just read it.
Mm-hmm.
It says, get specific. It's the article, in case you want to know, it's like, is your company just talking about racism or is it fighting against racism?
Nice. Cool.
And this is the thing. It says if your company, like, you need to make sure that your company's not just talking about it, but fighting it. And it says here, get specific about internal and external action. Blanket and abstract statements that merely denounce police brutality sound more like a politician trying to get votes than an institution prepared to take action. It tells people what you are against without having to commit to being for anything. Perhaps now more than ever, talk is cheap. You need to guard against this saying at your company. When all was said and done, there was a lot more said than done.
Okay. Oh, snap.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Hey, can you give us 2 benefits to having diverse friendships?
Of course, Vic. Diverse friendship is simply who is speaking into your world. Like, I myself am a brown, indigenous American, but some of my closest friends are white Danish, white Icelandic. I would consider you a good friend. I even text you some funny things. It's like, you're African American. My wife's tongue, white English. Like, I have sorry, I got something stuck in my throat. Not Corona. Shout out, not Corona.
Whoa.
Like, Black Zambian friends. So it's kind of like in my sense, like, brown South African. Sorry, I'm just gonna keep naming all my different friends. I don't have that many, so I can name them. But it's kind of like, the benefit to my life is that I have no excuse to be insensitive, because any topic that I speak about is not like some vague construct or like the proverbial they. It's like, no, that's my friend.
Yeah.
Like, when I say Black Lives Matter, I'm not thinking of like some abstract, oh yeah, Black Lives Matter. Like, I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about my Black African friend here.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, like, I'm thinking of individuals in my life, and I'm like, no, like, this is my fight just as much as it is theirs, because that's what friendship is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it just challenges any prejudice that you have. Like, it's just because then you challenge every stereotype, because it's like, oh, well, you know, Black and brown people, they steal. But it's like, nah, like, my man's never stole from me. In fact, like, he's given me money. He's been so generous to me.
Yeah.
So it's like, it gives you an opportunity to just challenge everything and come at a point where it's like, well, no, you can call people out. Like, like, hopefully, and we're going to strive for, gone are the days where you can, like, just say blanket statements and be like, oh, PC culture is this and that. It's like, no, it's like, these are people that we're talking about. These are lives that we're talking about.
Yeah. Cool. Black life matters.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. Cool. So looking back, is your life where you thought it would be? And do you have any regrets that the audience can learn from? 2-part question.
Okay, first part. Do I think where I'd be where my life? No, not at all, man. I don't think I would. Like, I know, okay, offline, you and I, we've always joked, you never make it at 25, the
Oh, yeah.
statistics,
All that stuff.
But yeah, but see, that was the reality. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
legit, I remember, like, not to get, maybe to get a little bit heavy, but not too heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I remember being 16 years old and like wanting to commit suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just kind of like life isn't worth living.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like, everything that I've done, I felt like it's just a win.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if it sucks, even if it's bad use, even if it's whatever, like, I'm still living, I'm still breathing,
Yeah.
and that's something that, like, I will always be grateful for. And it may not, like, like, everyone says, you have to have your 5-year plans, but it's like I have like a 5-year character plan. Like, I don't want to be the same me. I don't want to have the same prejudices. I don't want to have the same problems that I have now in 5 years.
Yeah. Nice.
Like, so for me, I'm just, I like, life isn't where I pictured it, but life is definitely better than what I pictured it.
Yeah. Cool, man. So life expectations before and after college, how they changed. I feel like, actually, I probably should have said this first. I feel like today we didn't talk too much about college, but I think it's a good thing, to be more relevant, more honest, and just upfront about what you're facing at the moment. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're more of the catch up part of the podcast today than the after college. So, but life expectations before and after college, how they changed in any way.
I gotta tell you a funny story. All right, like, so, both Isaiah and I, we went to Hillsong International Leadership College.
Hey.
Hey, big shout out. I went to college, and I didn't realize how unique my situation was until I got to college, because there's people's experiences in college where they would say, like, I woke up at 3 a.m. sweating, and I heard Jesus' voice say, "Go to Hillsong College."
Exactly.
And,
It's like, what?
and I'd be like, "Dude, and like 3 a.m. Like, come on, man!" Like, like,
Yeah.
and I was like, "That's not me. That's not my experience." Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be straight up to you. I told you I wanted to be a scientist, right? And I wanted to study marine biology. I didn't know anything about Hillsong College at all. I
Mm-hmm.
paid for it. I went and did everything, but I literally did not Google it once. I went into Hillsong College thinking I would do the worship stream for 1 year and
Mm-hmm.
switch over to the marine biology section.
Whoa. Okay.
For those of you who don't know, it's
Yeah.
just a Bible college and leadership college. There's no science department. So my thought process was, it's Australia. It's a Christian college. Like, surely they have like a science department. Like, that's fine. Like, and I didn't Google it, didn't do anything. Like, my experience with college is, like, I knew I was gonna leave the US. So literally, I remember one night being like just out of high school, and I Googled Christian colleges South Africa, and I clicked on the first link. Don't remember what it was. I was like, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Christian colleges Australia. Hillsong College, thought that was the first one.
Yeah.
And then I remember being like, I'm gonna toss a coin, and wherever, and heads Australia, tails South Africa, and
Wow.
whatever that is
Mm-hmm.
what I'm gonna go for. I flipped the coin, and it was Australia, and
Wow.
that was the reason why I went to college.
Okay, you weren't kidding.
Zero
Heads or tails?
spirituality, like, at all.
Wow.
I mean, they used to cast lots in the New Testament still, but whatever. Those,
Yeah. Okay. Cool, man.
heresy, but it's fine. No, but I remember, like, and I just looked, and then I went to Hillsong College, and I was like, oh, it's affordable in terms of, like, U.S. College education standards.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, let's do it. Like, let's go. That was January 2011. I didn't have a passport. I didn't have anything. And then I went, and I told my mom, hey, literally that night, it was like 8 o'clock after dinner. I was in my room. flipped it, going to Australia, done. Showed my mom a promo video of college, and then that's when she started shaking and crying. And she's like, all right, if this is what you're going to do, this is what we're going to go do. And then I applied for my passport, and then I applied for the COE. I got in, and then I paid for college, and then I bought my ticket. Like that was in the span of like 5 months.
Yeah.
Before like just leaving Australia. And I got to Australia, and then like my expectation was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do the science department. And I show up at 188 Young Street, and I'm just like, damn, this is just a church. Like this,
yeah,
like there's nothing else.
Exactly.
So then like my expectation was like I had everything wrong, but I think God used that in such a great way because like I had zero expectations. I just didn't know anything. I was kind of like, let's. And my attitude, like I mean, as you can probably like know, it's very like blasé. It's very much like, all right, let's look at that. Like I would just go with the flow.
Yeah.
And I just stayed, and I just like I didn't like it at all. my first year sucked.
Yeah. No, it's real. It's real.
Yeah.
So you ended up staying there, what, 7 or 6 years? How long in Australia?
Close to 7 years in Australia.
Wow. It's a long time, man. It's
Yeah.
funny. Was it Lee Burns? He was like, man, you look so familiar. I feel like I've seen you here like a lot. It's because you've been in like every semester at that college.
Bro,
yeah.
Let's just encourage. If somebody wants to go to Hillsong College and they're like, can I actually do it? I did 1 year, took a year off.
Mm-hmm.
I did my second year and took took 6 months off, and then went back to school, and then took 6 months in between my third semester. So it's just like I was on like 4 different classes. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But God did, and that's what matters.
True that, man. All right. In closing a bit, are there any books or podcasts, music that you're listening to right now that you want to share?
Yeah, man. I do want to share this quote that I read today, and it was saying, decolonize your bookshelf. And that really like spoke to my heart. I was like, and I want to put this as a challenge to everyone there. It's like, make sure that your input aren't just old white people.
Dang.
Like, get young, black, female, young, brown, female, like get people of color, like in your bookshelf. Like, just make it happen. But anyway, like one book there's 2 books that I read. I'm mostly a podcast listener, so like I haven't read these. It's been a while since I've read these books, but it's called The Multi-Hyphen Method. I can't remember her name, the author, but she's a British author, and it's essentially just discussing how in the future workforce and how it's going to look in terms of project based, and just how everyone will have multi-hyphenated positions. So it's like you won't just be a podcaster; you'll be a podcaster, rapper, preacher.
Dang.
So it's like, but that's going to be the normal.
That's me.
Yeah, exactly. See, I know. Cool. Wait, the 49ers? Is that your team? The Niners?
San Francisco.
Yeah.
I jumped on the bandwagon. Yes.
Yeah, I know. I don't care. And there's another one called it's by James Clear, and it's essentially, what's it called? Micro changes or something like that. But it's essentially saying you change little by little to make a bigger impact into your life.
Nice. Cool.
And podcast, I gotta give it up to the Red Couch, Hood Politics.
Hey.
Yeah, man, the Bastards podcast, and Hamish and Andy.
Awesome. I'm just writing it down if it looks like I'm looking down right now. Yeah, cool. All right. So if there was one thing you could ask your future self, what would it be? And if there's one thing you could tell your high school self, what would it be?
And there's one thing I can tell my future self is keep fighting the good fight.
Mm.
I don't know how seasons of life will hit me in the future, but I don't want to be at a place where I've desensitized or feel like it doesn't matter, because I want to make sure that I'm fighting the good fight for not just myself, but for the community.
Nice. Cool. And what would you tell your high school self?
My high school self, something similar, but it's like it's a quote actually. I know I've come prepared. I've heard this podcast before.
Cool.
But it's a quote by Cesar Chavez, and it says, "We cannot seek achievement for ourselves and forget about progress and prosperity for our community. Our ambitions must be enough to include the aspirations and needs of others, for their sakes and for our own. In layman's term, if I'm eating, my whole team's eating."
Nice.
I need to I want to make sure, if I told myself, I'd be like, don't be satisfied that you've made out of high school, but be satisfied that you've helped somebody else make it.
Nice. There you go. Cool, man. Last question for you. If there is one solution a person of any ethnicity, gender, or social status could take to make the world more equal for everyone, what is one simple thing they could do?
Can I get spiritual?
Go for it.
Repent.
Oh, day.
There is this notion that I'm not racist, or I'm not overtly racist. I've never called anyone the N-word. I've never, done anything wrong.
Yeah.
But acknowledging that, I guess if you're white, I'll stick it to this. Acknowledging that you do prosper from a system that was built and maintained to benefit you.
Wow.
And so you may feel like the system is fair, and you may feel like law enforcement, no, they'll do justice. Yes, because they will do justice for you.
Mm.
But it's acknowledging that and saying, and being real with yourself and repenting and being like, God, I'm sorry that either unwillingly or willingly know that I've been the recipient of what essentially is white supremacy.
Wow.
And then obviously taking that step of repentance and going forward with it and seeking actively changing.
Mm-hmm. Cool, man. Let's give it up for Yeshua. Killing it, man.
Yeah.
Great time. But I just want to encourage you, bro. You're a good man, bro. And I feel like everything you do in life, you're a standard setter. And it's not only just to, get a positive reaction, but it's so that other people can look up to you and start to set standards in their life as well. So just know that people are looking up to you and, keep setting the standard for where society should be. So you got this, bro.
I want to encourage you.
Oh,
there's a nickname that I used to that I gave to you in college. I'm not sure if you remember it, and I still call you that from some. I actually have it saved on my phone. Is it? No, shut up.
Oh no! Oh no, it's a different
one. No. Doctor.
Oh yeah.
Dr. Zaya. And I wanna let you know that spiritually, you are a doctor. You are healing people who for too long have been hurt, who for too long have been broken, who for too long have been ignored. Like specifically, I think you encapsulate the Good Samaritan that went above and beyond just crossing the street, but you help people spiritually. But I also want to speak into your potential. I don't know what you're doing in terms of education or everything, but I think I see that for you. That position, it may not be medical, but it may be in other things. But your voice, not that it isn't educated now, because you're incredible. What you do and what you say, what you write, what you create is evidence of that. But I think you going forward, within any sphere of education, that doctorate, your voice will have authority in arenas that it does not have now, and arenas that will set the pace.
Yeah, dude, thank you. I appreciate it. And no one's ever encouraged me back on this show. No, no, they said thank you and a little bit of stuff, but yeah, that's pretty cool,
thank
man.
you, man. No.
Yeah. Move it on, buddy. No.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything you want to promote?
I want to promote Jesus Christ. No.
Okay.
No. Of course, promote me, man. Follow me at Montañez. Montaneasy. Montañez.
Nice, man. Cool.
And follow at Prop Hip Hop and at Doc ZT. Best Instagram follows aside from me.
Okay, cool. Nice, man. Well, once again, thank you for coming on, bro. And I know it's pretty late out there, so you can get some sleep after this. So thank you.
Love you, dude.
Yeah, likewise. And for everybody else, yeah, great catching up. And as we're maturing, we're going to keep learning, stirring up, and chasing after what our Creator created us to do. Have a good one, everyone. Peace.